If you guys can hear me, if one of you wouldn't mind just typing a message into the chat pod, I just want to make sure that my voice is coming through clearly and that you guys can hear everything before I get started. So if one of you doesn't mind just typing a little message for me and making sure or helping me make sure that you guys can hear me clearly, we can go ahead and get started. Perfect. Awesome. If at any point anything's getting crackly or too loud or too quiet, let me know and I will make some adjustments. You can communicate with me directly through that chat pod at any time throughout this whole webinar. So, like I said, we're going to be talking today about how to get the most out of your RealtyNinja website. We're going to start with a little bit of an intro and talking about some fundamentals and some simple rules that we've learned over the years of building real estate agent websites and helping realtors get the most out of them. After that, we're going to dive into some on-site optimization tactics, so ways that you can modify your actual RealtyNinja website to make it perform better. And then we're going to talk about off-site optimization tactics, things that you can do all around the internet to kind of send traffic to your website. We'll touch on our real estate marketing and technology blog, The Dojo, and we'll talk about our ebook series. And then we've got a modern marketing Q&A, but feel free to just type your questions in. Since there's only two of you guys here today, type your questions in as they pop into your head. And as long as the question is pretty quick to answer, I'll just answer it on the spot. If it's a bit more of a loaded question, then I will just keep it until the end and we'll talk a little bit more about it at that point. But feel free to, like I said, communicate with me throughout this whole presentation using that chat pod. At the end of this webinar, once we end the webinar, you're going to be redirected to a link where you can download these slides as well as view a bunch of other kind of useful and informative documentation, links, and other good stuff like that. So feel free to take notes if you want, or just kind of sit back and listen in and engage with the webinar. So give yourself a little pat on the back or a self high five. Being on a mostly automated, modern, mobile-first platform like RealtyNinja, you're already 10 steps ahead of the competition. Believe it or not, it's 2019. I can't believe it's September, but at this point, still about half of the realtors out there in your market don't have their own website. They're relying on websites like their brokerage site or just a bio page on their brokerage site or social media or something. So a lot of realtors don't actually have a domain that they own that belongs to them. And so you're already way ahead of the average realtor, but this is not a webinar about being average. It's about kind of getting the most out of your site. So let's jump into it. Before we kind of start things off, I do like to mention this, it's kind of an important slide to preface things. We live in a weird time where currency is attention, basically, online. And so we live in what's called an attention economy. Everybody out there is looking for a piece of attention, whether that's Netflix or Facebook or Twitter or your friend's dog's Instagram account. Everybody's out there just looking for a piece, a slice of that attention pie. And so people these days, as you guys are probably aware, are getting hit with so much more content than they did just 10 or 15 years ago. It's everywhere, right? It's your mobile device is with you at all times. You're constantly getting notifications. Everyone's constantly connected and constantly getting hit with so much content. And whether it's funny memes or videos or news articles or scary headlines or whatever, it's important to realize this, because as a real estate agent, you're trying to break through all that clutter and grab some of that attention as well. So when you think about how much content is out there and how much people are getting hit, some marbles in my mouth. I'll move my mic closer. If you think about how much people are getting hit with content, it forces you to kind of think about what you're going to do as a real estate agent to stand out, cut through that content, and get some of their attention in this attention economy. When you think about it that way, it's like it changes the way you look at what you're putting out there, whether it's on social media, on your website, on your YouTube, or whatever. So keep that in mind. So what does it take to make your website truly ninja? We've been doing this as RealtyNinja for 9 years now. Before that, we were a company called Base 10, and we were making custom websites for real estate agents and other businesses. Technology has changed. Website best practices have changed. A lot has changed in terms of how you build websites and how you manage them and how you market yourself. But there's two kind of simple fundamental rules that have stayed the same over the years. If you want to be successful, you kind of got to follow these rules, especially when it comes to your website, but also in general. Rule number one, don't be generic. Generic marketing is forgettable, and the generic realtor is the realtor who promotes themselves to just anybody under basically in their board, right? And so when your website is tailored to no one in specific, you're kind of going to get forgotten by everybody. You're not going to resonate strongly with any one target market or any one demographic. So make sure your website is, make sure you know who your target audience is, and make sure your website is catered to that target audience. It's speaking to one specific group of people, whether it's people who want luxury homes or condos, or downsizers or empty nesters, or whatever that target market is that you've identified for your business. Make sure your website is completely speaking to them. Now, if someone reaches out to you outside of your, is it because I'm speaking too quickly, or it might just be a connection thing? My mic is, I've just tried resetting the mic. Let me also see what I can do to adjust it. Just bear with me for a second here. It's because the connection seems off. Well, I will make sure that I don't have anything else open. I am on fiber optic internet, so it should be okay, but I'm just going to close all these other applications, and I'll try speaking a bit slower, and hopefully everything comes through okay, but keep me posted. Thanks, Faye. James, you also let me know if you're having the same experience or if it's just on Faith's side. Okay, so like I said, generic marketing is forgettable. Focus on a target audience. If somebody reaches out to you outside of your target audience, awesome. Okay. Hopefully it's still going okay right now. I'm just kind of speaking a bit slower here. Like I'm saying, if someone outside of your target audience reaches out to you through your website, you're absolutely going to work with them, but you're going to resonate stronger with those people in your target market if you're actually catering all of your marketing materials to them. Rule number two, create value for your target audience. So once you've identified who your target audience is, use your website to provide them with value. Like I said, we're living in an attention economy. You want to make sure that you're capturing these people's attention. And so by providing them value through your website, you're actually going to speak directly to them and make them go, oh, this is something that I need to pay attention to because this is something that speaks to me. So what a lot of realtors get stuck on is they make their website all about them, when in reality, yes, it's your website, but the website is all about your visitor. It's for your visitors. It's for that target audience. So keep that in mind when you're designing anything from pages to searches, call to actions, or even your logo, right? And everything like that about your brand, even outside of your website, it needs to be catered to providing value to your target audience. So rule number one, don't be generic. Rule number two, create value for your target audience. These are kind of the essential fundamentals of website marketing. So moving on to big opportunities these days. I mean, with the online world, you have the ability to connect. Okay, well, I'm actually not 100% sure what else I can do at this point. It might just be a weird connection issue. If you guys are not enjoying this, I can just send you a recording of this same webinar and you can just watch that. That's kind of smoother. But at this point, I've kind of closed all my apps. I am, my mic settings are tight. And so I've spoken to Click Meeting, and apparently they're having some technical issues. But I thought it was just about registration pages, but it might be kind of showing up here as well. So let me know if you'd rather I just end this meeting and email it to you. Okay, sounds good. Let me know if you want at any point. If it's just not worth it, then I can just email it to you if you can't hear me, and you can listen to a recording. Thanks. Okay, huge opportunities online. Everyone's online these days. Like I said, everyone's connected through their smartphone. They've always got the internet in their hands. And so using modern marketing and websites and social media and email marketing and video and all that kind of stuff, you have the ability to reach out to people wherever they are at any time of day. And you can kind of connect with thousands of your ideal clients, your target market, pretty inexpensively. I mean, it does take time and maybe some financial investment, but you can actually communicate and reach these people a lot easier than you could 15, 20 years ago. So we're living in kind of a cool time, whether you're, a real estate agent or any kind of entrepreneur. It's a great time to kind of be in business because you can actually directly reach the people in your target audience. And as a real estate agent, you guys are kind of out there in the market, with signs and outdoor signage and outdoor advertising. You're on bus shelters. You're taking up advertising space in a large part of your community. You're sponsoring events. You're kind of this face that people get to know, kind of like a public figure. And so, using social media, using your website, and having your own kind of corner of the internet, you can kind of become this quote unquote digital mayor as well. So you can dominate your niche by just being out there when people are driving in their car, they see you on the bus, and then when they pull up their phone, they also see you on social media as well. And so, or they get a link to your website and they can go check out your website. So you have this ability to kind of carry on your local celebrity status to the online world, and it's a kind of an opportunity that a lot of realtors don't actually notice or take advantage of. Two really important questions to ask yourself when you're building your website. One, who am I building this website for? Going back to that target audience, who is your target audience and who is your website going to be communicating directly to? It's really, really important to define that target audience and cater that message to them and not be generic, like we mentioned before. Once you've defined who these people are that you're building your website for, the next question, which is arguably more important, is what do you want these people to do on your website? Obviously, you want them to become a lead, but there's got to be a process that they follow in order to become a lead. And so you want to have that map, that roadmap, or that funnel outlined in your mind, and understand exactly what you want people to do, where you want them to click, what process you want them to take to become a lead, and set that up and make it really easy on your website for them to do that. If it's to subscribe to your mailing list, great. Make sure that call to action is on every page of your website. If it's to call you, awesome. Make sure your websites or your phone number is prominent all over your website. It might be, too much to ask to get them to just hire you as a realtor right after looking at your website. So you might want to get their lead into your CRM and kind of massage and nurture them a little bit until they become a client. So it might be easier to just get them to read your blog and submit their email address to get more blog articles from you or something of that nature. Whatever it is, make sure you define what you want your visitors to do on your website. And that's going to be a lot easier to do once you've identified who your website is actually for. So figure out who your website's for, figure out what you want those people to do on your website, and then give them the buttons and the pages and the information that they need to actually do that. A lot of things that your website should be doing. There's a list of these things here. I'm not going to bother reading out every bullet. I don't like it when people do that on presentations because you guys can read for yourselves. I will highlight a few of the ones that I find to be really important. One of them is that your website creates trust. Trust is super important in real estate, as you guys know. People are making the biggest transactions of their lives, and they want to be working with someone that they can trust. Now, it's harder to build trust through a website than through an in-person meeting where people can look you in the eyes. But these days, it's not impossible, especially with things like streaming video. You can upload a video to YouTube, embed it on your website, and people can watch in real time and have basically a conversation with you, sit there and look you in the eyes, listen to your voice, and kind of connect with you as a person through your website. Other things like, testimonials, the about you, the bio page, showing your awards, showing mentions in the media, all kinds of things like that you can show on your website that will actually create that trust with people and break through the digital barrier. That's really, really important on your website. It's much easier on your website than on social media as well, because you own your website. The next one I want to highlight is that your website represents you 24/7. It's often the first impression people have of you. Some people might be browsing your website at 1 a.m. That might be when they get off work and they might be coming in to check you out at that point. You're going to be fast asleep, but your website's representing you like an employee of your business. So what I say is take a look at your website and imagine if it was an employee working for you that you were paying, every month, a salary. Would that employee be getting a raise? Are they doing a good job? Are they representing you correctly? Are they on brand? Are they, basically doing a good job, or are they going to get on the verge of getting fired? And so, if they're going to get fired, then you need to train them. You need to upgrade the website to make sure it's an accurate representation of who you are as a real estate agent. Oftentimes, people are going to come to your homepage, and if they like what they see, they're going to keep digging and get to know you better. If they don't like your homepage, they're just going to leave your site. Now, not only is that bad because it's leaving money on the table, but it's also bad for your SEO. Search engines don't like it when people come to your website and leave after only looking at one page. It also counts how quickly they leave. So you want to make sure that your website's representing you in such a way that people are actually intrigued. If people meet you in person and shake your hand, they're not just going to turn around and walk away from you. That would be a pretty bad indication. You don't want that from your website as well. Make sure your website's doing a good job of engaging people to kind of get to know you. If they've gotten to your homepage, there's obviously some interest to get to know you better. Make sure that your website's doing a good job of keeping them there. And the last big bullet to highlight, obviously, provide value to your target audience. We've already mentioned this a couple times throughout. Your website is not all about you. It's all about your target audience. It's all about providing value to them so that they can then in turn become a lead for you. So before we get into on-site optimization tactics, here's a little analogy we've used for years at RealtyNinja. Your website's a tool, right? Your website is like this sweet sports car. It's powerful, it's capable, it's got all the bells and whistles you need to win races, right? It's got great horsepower, paddle shifting, all that stuff that you need to get first place. However, without a driver, it's not going to win any races. It might look good sitting on, the curb and in front of your house and showing off to people that are walking by, but it's not actually going to win you any trophies. So keep in mind, just like a race car is a tool to win races, a website is a tool to generate business for you. A lot of people say, hey, I set up my website 6 months ago and there's no leads. Why is there no leads? Well, the answer is because leads don't come out of thin air. You actually need to work and send traffic to your website. Your website is basically a machine that churns visitors into leads. And so, if you're not sending those visitors to your site, they're never going to see it. They're never going to become leads. So keep in mind, website is like a tool, like so many other tools that you use in your business, even like a cell phone, right? You would never call your cell phone provider and be like, hey, how come no one's calling me, right? You're not giving out your phone number. You're not going out there and marketing your phone number out to people. So obviously they're not going to call you. So keep that in mind. Your website is the exact same thing. You need to use it if you want it to actually provide you with leads. So with that said, let's get into on-site optimization tactics, things you can do to make your website more powerful and convert leads better and capture more traffic as well. So first on-site optimization tactic is blogging, content, resources, essentially providing value to people through your website. Now, this is going to keep people around longer, and it's going to make you look like the expert. It's going to make you build trust again with those people through the digital barrier, and it's eventually going to lead them into becoming leads, either joining your mailing list or giving, picking up the phone and giving you a call. Another benefit is that it's actually going to attract people to your website through what's called inbound marketing. So when you're publishing blog posts or creating pages on your site that are full of great, valuable information, search engines are going to pick that up and show it to the people that are searching for it. It's going to attract those people to your website. So this is 90% of marketers are using inbound marketing. We use it. We publish articles on our blog regularly, and so many of them attract, potential leads like realtors to our website to read and get to know us as the experts in real estate marketing. And then hopefully when it's time to purchase a website, they contact us. Same for you guys. If you paint yourselves as the expert on specific topics about real estate, people find that out, they want to work with you, and then when it's time to hire a realtor, they're going to. So keep this in mind. This is a great way to use your website. If you don't do anything else on your website besides blogging and providing content and resources, then you're still being, you're still using it to its huge amount of potential, in my opinion, and in general. When you're creating these resources, when you're creating this content, ask yourself, would my target audience consider this helpful, unique, novel, or new? These are four things that people psychologically find that psychologically attract people to information and content. So it's not something I made up. The HUNN technique is a real thing. If your content, if you're going to write a blog article and it doesn't seem helpful, it's not unique, it's not novel, and it's not new information, it's probably not worth creating. So if it's one of those things, great, go for it. If it's two or more of those things, awesome. People are going to love it. It's going to provide value to your target audience, and search engines are going to love it as well. And don't forget to use a mixed variety of media, publish photos into your blog posts, embed videos. This is going to help you show up in different categories of search as well. So when people are doing a video search, they're going to find your video. If they're doing a article search, they're going to find your blog post. If they're doing an image search, they're going to find your images. So you want to kind of amplify your reach by including a mixed variety of media when publishing content on your website. Here's a cool example. One of our clients, Chris Whitehead, they do a video blog. So they upload their video to YouTube and then embed the video into a blog post and then do like an excerpt of the video or kind of transcribe the video or explain more of what's found in that video. And so this is great. This is going to help them show up for video search as well as for article search and just general search as well. They do this regularly. This is an old screenshot, but if you go check their blog, even up until now, they're still doing this. So this is a great kind of way to use your blog. If you're not shy, set a recording on your phone, turn it sideways so that it's in landscape mode, and then film a quick video, embed it into your blog, and write a couple paragraphs about it, and there you go. Next on-site optimization tactic is using unique descriptions on your listings and on your MLS pages. So one important thing to note about search engine optimization is that search engines do not reward you for duplicate content. If your content exists somewhere else, if you're, for instance, copy pasting information from Wikipedia to your real estate website, you're not going to get rewarded for that information. Search engines are smart these days. They know where the source of the information is. And if you're basically plagiarizing, you're not going to get any rewards. So if you think you're just going to go copy paste a bunch of Wikipedia pages and that's going to rank you high on search engines, it's actually not. Make sure that your content is unique. And so that also applies to your real estate data. So the listing data that's coming through your website is actually not unique data. So a lot of realtors are like, oh, I'm going to create this cool search page for like downtown Vancouver, for instance. Well, the truth is that search page exists in hundreds of other places, including on realtor.ca and MLS.ca. You don't own that data. That data is owned by the board, and they are the kind of proprietors of it. And so they're the ones getting the actual ranking for that data. You're just sharing the database through an IDX feed and it's showing those listings on your site. The only way that you're actually going to get rewarded on search engines for that info is if it's unique. And so what you can do on your RealtyNinja site is you can actually log in and if the listing belongs to you, so like if it's one of your clients' properties and it's one of your active listings, you can log into it and change the description, add more text, add some more photos, add photo captions, upload PDFs, embed video, embed virtual tours. So you can make that listing unique on your site. So when someone's searching that address, or if someone's searching on that street or something like that, your listing is actually going to show up first because it's the only one of its kind on the internet. Even on MLS, it doesn't have as much detail and description as the one on your website. So this is one great trick for kind of making sure the listings that belong to you are unique and actually getting boosted on SEO. Another tip is for your niche MLS pages. So let's say you do create that downtown Vancouver condos page on your site. And it's showing all the up-to-date condos, right? It's automated. Every time MLS gets updated, so does your website, and that's great. However, there's no other info on that page. So that page is basically not a unique content page, so search engines aren't going to reward it. But what you can do to combat that is actually make it like a community page. Add some information about downtown Vancouver and some photos, people do like weather stuff and social media feeds and videos about the community. And they basically turn that page into a community page that also has listings on it. So this is going to help you. And here's an example of someone who's done that. If you go to princetonbc.com, or even if you Google like Princeton, BC information, this is going to be one of the first, if not the first page that shows up. Why? Because yes, there's listings here at the very bottom of this page. However, the page itself is all about the community. We've got a video, we've got weather reports, we've got information about restaurants and bars and coffee houses, shopping in the area, lots of nice photos, and little write-ups. And all of this stuff is unique content. It's actually written by Lee Mowry, who's the owner of this website. So it's not copy pasted from Wikipedia or anything. And this page is one of the best pages, like I said, on Google for Princeton, BC. Now, of course, when you scroll through it, and you get to the bottom, the homes are there as well. And so this is a great way to do this. You don't have to put the homes at the very bottom. You can put them in the middle if you want. You can put them near the top. It doesn't matter. As long as the rest of the content is there, it's actually going to become now a unique page on the internet, and search engines are going to reward you for it. Okay, next on-site optimization tactic, proper keywords and alt tags. So back when I kind of started in web design and website marketing, keywords were these things that were tucked into the code of your website called meta keywords, meta tags, and meta description. These were often not visible on the actual website itself, but that was what gave search engines indications of what your website was about. Nowadays, search engines are way more powerful. Their algorithms are very intelligent, and they can actually read your website at, I believe, like a grade 7 comprehension level. And so you want to make sure that the keywords that your target market is searching for are all over your website. So, if you're working with luxury condo buyers, you want to make sure luxury condos and the community you're talking about, those words are that wording and terminology is used throughout your homepage and every other page of your website, because search engines are actually reading your website and figuring out, based on all the content on the site, what the site is about. Also, don't try and trick them. Like, it's hard to trick a 7th grader. It's the same way it's hard to trick search engines. So just by stuffing keywords into your website, you're actually not only not going to get rewarded, but you might get negative points on your domain, because search engines know when someone's kind of trying to stuff keywords. So use it organically. The rule is write for people and search engines will understand. Okay, write for 7th graders and search engines are completely going to get it, and they're going to reward you for it. Now, alt tags are also keywords, but they're keywords for your images. So search engines, for instance, like here's an example. This is a photo on one of our clients, Katie Burkhard's website. This is a photo of Katie Burkhard. Search engines don't know who that is. They don't know that she's a real estate agent. They don't know what community that she is a part of. So facial recognition is slowly becoming a thing, but it's not a thing yet for search engine optimization. It's not a thing yet in Google's algorithms. So what you need to do is you need to actually add alt tags, which stands for alternate text, to your photos. So when you are in edit mode on your RealtyNinja site and you scroll over an image, you have an option to click like a little gear in the top right corner. When you click that gear, you're going to get the image options box here that pops open. In this box, you want to add your alternate text. This alternate text is going to tell search engines that this is a photo of Katie Burkhard. She's a Vancouver-based real estate professional. So that's giving all of the images on your website keywords, and that's boosting your visibility on Google. It's boosting your keyword ranking on Google, and it's also just boosting your overall SEO, especially if you've got a lot of images on your website and in your blog. Make sure they all have alt tags. Not only is that going to help your ranking for your actual website, but it's also going to help you show up on Google image search as well. Next on-site optimization tactic is bio and testimonials. So like we said earlier, one of the most important things to do on your website is to build trust and break through that digital barrier. And I'm often surprised how many times I go to a real estate agent's website and it says, bio coming soon or testimonials coming soon, when in reality, those are probably the 2 most important things that should be on your website. A lot of times people are going to your site just to get to know you and to find out what people are saying about you. And so if you're not providing that info, you might just be leaving money on the table. that you don't know what you don't know. So you don't know how many people have come and gone and not paid you any commission because you just didn't have that bio information. But it's so easy to do, and it's so easy to add this info that it's better to just plug that hole early on. If you can, use video. Okay, video speaks so much louder. People would rather watch a 30-second video than to read 6 paragraphs of information about somebody. Pick up your smartphone, put it into selfie mode, and record a 30-second video and be like, hey, I'm James. This is how long I've been doing real estate. This is the community I serve. These are the clients that I like to work with. This is what makes me different. This is why I'm passionate. Here's how you contact me. Let me know how I can help you. Really, really quickly, you can put together this 30-second video, upload it to YouTube, and embed it on your bio page. And it gives people this direct link into your world, and they can kind of see you, look you in the eyes, listen to your voice, and connect with you and build that trust. If you're not going to use video, use photos. Include lots of photos of yourself, lifestyle photos, headshot photos. All that stuff is great. And don't forget the testimonials. Collect testimonials on your Google Plus profile. Not your Google Plus, but your Google Business profile. And so if you haven't set that up yet, I believe it's just google.com/business. Make sure you're doing that and collecting reviews from your past clients there. But then take your reviews and post them on your website as well. Post them everywhere that you can. Even make them social media posts. People need to hear about what other people are saying about you. This helps build that trust, and a testimonial from the mouth of your clients goes a longer way than just telling people about how awesome you are. Just a quick example of a bio page on one of our client sites. This is by no means the best, top example. It's just one that I find this is like the bare minimum kind of thing, right? It's beautiful though. Like, you've got nice images, they're consistent, name, title, email address, contact info, and a little blurb about them. You can go way further and do way more on these pages, and you should, but at the very minimum, do this much. Okay, last on-site optimization tactic before we get into off-site. This is call to actions. So like we talked about earlier, there's 2 questions to ask yourself when you're setting up your site. 1 is, who is this website for? 2, what do I want these people to do on my website? So call to actions help you with question number 2. Once you figured out what you want people to do, you need to provide them with that button or with that link. It's a call to action that gets them to do that action that you want them to do. If you were selling shoes, your call to action would be, select your size or buy, add to your cart or whatever. But you guys are not doing that. You're transacting way bigger property. The nurture process of your leads is a bit longer. So what you're trying to do is generate a lead. Now, how you do that is up to you. How that lead comes in, maybe you want to provide a coupon for someone to join your mailing list, right? And so that should be everywhere. It's sign up for my mailing list and get $10 off the local restaurant. Put that on every page of your site. Give people that call to action after they get to your website, so that they can take the next step towards becoming your lead. Define that objective, and once it's defined, then you can go ahead and incorporate it all over your website, whether it's in blog posts or anything else. And keep in mind, a lot of real estate agents use the call to action, browse the MLS on their website. Now, in my opinion, that is way too generic, and generic marketing is forgettable, like we said. Don't be generic. If you know your target audience, create a search that speaks directly to them. If they're luxury condo buyers, create a search button that says browse luxury condos in Vancouver or whatever the community is. Give it to them so that they don't have to go into the MLS search and tweak the settings. They can just click that and view what they're looking for. Cater the site to them. The reason I say don't just add browse MLS search as your main call to action is because people can do that anywhere. It's obviously a great tool to have on your website so people don't leave your site to do an MLS search, but it's not the main reason people are coming to your website. They're coming to your website for other reasons. So make sure, whether it's to get to know you or whatever, make that the primary call to action, and then just have the browse MLS button on your navigation bar. Okay, on-site is complete. Let's talk about some off-site optimization tactics, things you can do to send more traffic to your website. So before we jump right in, I just like to do a quick SEO in a nutshell combo here. everything that you do online is telling search engines a story about your business, about how you do real estate, who you do it with, who your clients are, what community you serve. So make sure that all of your online communication is catered to the same strategy. If you're working with first-time home buyers, make sure your website, Facebook, Instagram, Google reviews, YouTube channel, everything that you're doing online is talking to those people and about those people, so that when search engines go and crawl all of your networks and try and form this story about who you are, it's consistent and it's cohesive and they can actually make sense of it. If you're trying to be the luxury person on Instagram and the first time homebuyer person on your website and the empty nester person on your Facebook page, and you're thinking you're being smart by kind of trying to capture all kinds of different people through your different channels, what you're actually doing is you're telling search engines this disjointed story about who you are and what you do as a real estate agent, and it's not going to help your rank climb. It's going to be much harder, take much longer for you to build authority in each of those different categories than it is to use all the different channels to build authority in one category. So keep that in mind, and make sure all of your online marketing strategy, whether it's your website, social media, email, everything is catered to the same target audience. So with that said, first offsite optimization tactic is optimizing your bio on all the directories where you exist online and your brokerage site and everywhere else. The reason this is important is because backlinks are super critical to your search engine optimization. A backlink is essentially when any other website on the internet links back to your website. You get SEO points from Google depending on how popular that website is. So if a really like popular blog in your community that gets 1 million visitors every month links to your website, that's going to tell search engines that you have a lot of authority. If the local plumber who gets 20 visitors a month links to your website, it's still going to help. But it doesn't give it as much authority as the major blog with millions of hits. So keep that in mind. Every backlink counts, definitely, but some backlinks are weighted more than other backlinks. So do a Google search for yourself to kind of kick things off, and search your business name, obviously, and every link that shows up in Google, go to page 5, go to page 10, and open all of them in different tabs. And wherever you can, make sure your website is linked, whether that's your Facebook page, your Instagram bio, the directory listing on your brokerage website, your Zillow listing, your Alignable account, your Rank My Agent account. Doesn't matter. Everywhere that you exist online should have a link to your website. Super duper important. And this is going to set the foundation for your backlinks. Now, aside from that, obviously things like posting, people posting links to your blog posts on social media. Like if someone's tweeting a link to your blog post, that's a backlink as well. If someone is linking to your blog post from their blog, that's a backlink as well. So doing outreach for your content is really important as well. If you've got partners that you work with, like I know a realtor who every time he publishes a video, he's got this kind of community of buddies who he sends it to, and they all share it on their social media and vice versa when they publish something. And so that might be a good thing to have, is kind of this network of people where you guys share each other's content. That's really going to help your backlink game. Another good one is writing guest blog posts. So like I said, if there's like a big blog in your community where you can contribute some content to and link in that content back to your website, do that. Write a little blog post that's like 500 to 1,000 words, submit it to them as an editorial. Chances are, 99% of the time they're going to accept it. And they're going to publish it for you. Once they publish it, that article contains a link back to your website, and boom, you're getting lots of SEO points there. So keep this in mind. Optimize all of your directories, wherever your bio exists. Make sure your website exists. Get people to share your links on social media, and write guest blog posts to get out there. And not only share your expertise with different markets and make other people aware of you, like people who are reading that blog, but also get that SEO point. Next offsite optimization tactic is social media publishing and engagement. So I've been in social media for a long, long time. Since I graduated, basically, it's like 2008. And social media has changed so much. The channels have changed. Like Instagram didn't even exist. Twitter was all just SMS based. You would text your tweets. In Facebook, you didn't like pages, you became a fan. Like so much has changed over the years. But the fundamentals have not. And the fundamental legs that social media stands on is publishing and engagement. So, leg one, publishing, is essentially when you go to your Facebook page or your Instagram and you post something. You post a picture, you share a link, you upload a YouTube video. All that kind of stuff is just the publishing side of things. The other side of things is the engagement. So, when you post a video, you want people to come and watch it. You want them to like it. You want them to subscribe to your channel. You want them to share that video. Same goes for Instagram. You want them to like it. You want them to share it with their friends. You want them to leave a comment. That engagement is really important to you as a business. Now, what a lot of real estate agents don't kind of realize is that engagement is something you want, but you're not actually giving out. In reality, you need to be engaging as well as hoping for engagement. If you're the person at the party that just shows up at a cocktail party and goes, "Hey, I'm super cool. Check out my cool clothes. Check out my sweet car. Look how much money I make. Look at what an awesome job I have. My life is so great. I'm the best." That person is not going to be a huge hit at the party. You want to be the person that's out at the party. You talk a little bit about yourself, you share some anecdotes, you listen to other people's stories, you laugh, you make friends, introduce yourself to people. It's engaging, right? And so the same way that you would be in person, you want to be on social media as well. um, if you're not out there engaging, people are not going to engage with you. And so make it a 50-50 activity where half of your time spent on social media is posting things, the other half is actually going out there and engaging with other people. Go and browse hashtags. If you live in Calgary, search hashtag Calgary. People who are posting in there, 90% of them are your target market. They're people who will perhaps at some point in the near future purchase or sell real estate. Connect with those people. Comment on their photos, right? Leave a genuine comment on these people's photos and say, "Hey, your dog is so cute," or whatever. Something that speaks to them and is relevant to that photo. All of a sudden, they're going to get a notification from Faye Herb, real estate agent, and they're going to get this dopamine rush. That's what social media is this shot of dopamine. And so they get this little rush, and that rush is coming from you, right? And so that feeling of joy and excitement is now linked to you and your business. You do this enough over time, and you're going to become that household name, and people are going to be coming back to your profile and engaging with you and viewing your content. Engaging with other people's content is actually going to increase the engagement of your content. So keep that in mind. I would even say, if you're going to set up an Instagram profile and you don't want to post anything, that's fine. Go and just engage. Have your website listed on your Instagram bio and just go out there and comment on other people's stuff, like their photos, talk to people. And when they come back to your profile, they'll click and go to your website. So this is really, really important. Keep in mind, social media is publishing and engagement, not just publish, publish, publish. And don't forget, you don't own social media, you don't own your Instagram, you own your website, and you want to send traffic to your website. So whatever you're doing, make sure you find a way to link people back to your website, whether it's through a comment and saying, "Hey, I actually wrote a cool blog post about this the other day, come check it out." Or like when you're publishing things, is sharing links to your website. Keep that in mind. Super important to drive traffic to your site through social media. And last offsite optimization tactic, before we call it a day, is paid traffic versus organic traffic. So organic traffic is visitors that find your website without you having paid to get them there. Okay. If you're writing a blog post about the best dog parks in Toronto and someone searches best dog parks in Toronto and your link shows up, they click it and they go to your website, that's an organic visitor. That's organic traffic. Paid traffic is if you take that blog post about the best dog parks in Toronto and you put it into a Google ad and you have it show up for people who are searching certain keywords or people that are a certain age or live in a certain area. That's paid traffic. So it's a little bit of a difference. You're actually investing money in the paid traffic, and with the organic traffic, you're just investing time, basically. The mistake a lot of people make is that they advertise crummy content. And so, when you're putting up a bus shelter ad, for instance, in your community, it's got a different purpose than a Google ad or a Facebook ad. The purpose of a Facebook or Google ad is clicks. That's why it's called cost per click, right? Pay per click. It's all about clicks. You want people to click that ad and go to the next step. With the bus shelter ad, you just want people to see it, right? It's aligning you with a specific community. It's getting people to consistently see your face and see your branding and see your phone number. And when it's time, they're going to reach out to you because you're going to be top of mind. But with social media and Google advertising, it's for them to click and go to your website, and then your website to convert them into a lead. So what a lot of realtors do is they create a bus shelter ad on Facebook where people just like float by. It's just a picture of their face and their colors and their brokerage and their phone number, but it doesn't actually incent me to click it. There's no reason for me to click it. I don't even know what's going to happen if I click this picture of your face. So they think that, okay, if I just do that, if I put $100 behind it, I'm going to get a bunch of leads. That's not how it works. There needs to be a step-by-step plan of, okay, I'm going to put this ad up here. When they click this ad, they're going to go to this page. When they get to this page, they're going to fill out this information. When they fill out that information, they're going to become a lead in my CRM. And then I'm going to communicate with them after that. So keep that in mind. Posting just a random ad and throwing money at it is not the solution to getting traffic to your site. In a lot of cases, if you post an ad like this, for instance, on Facebook, someone might see it, they might click on it. That's going to cost you some money. And when they click it and they get to your homepage, they don't really realize what there is to do or why they clicked it, and they're going to close it and leave. If they do that, that's a bounce. That's called a bounce to search engines. When someone visits your website, looks at one page, and then leaves. Search engines don't like this, and they're going to give you negative points. They're going to take away points from you for people who do that. So make sure your ads have a clear purpose. That, if you're advertising something, it sends people to a next step. And then they know when they got there what they have to do, right? If it's, hey, get a free $10 off coupon to this restaurant, click here. They click it, they go to a page on your website where they have to fill out a form to get the coupon emailed to them. So they know that, they're expecting it. They fill out the form, they submit, it says, thanks, check your inbox. They go check their inbox, they've got the coupon, and you've got their email address. That's the flow of an ad, right? It's a cost per click or pay per click advertising. So please don't just think that by putting up some random ad, picture of your face and like the same kind of marketing content that you would on a bus shelter on the back of a bus, putting it on Facebook and putting money behind it, that's just going to magically turn into leads. That's a guaranteed way to waste your money and burn through your marketing budget. I'd hate to see that for you guys. And that's it. So last but not least, most important thing is to stay consistent. All of this stuff that we've talked about today is not going to work if you're not consistent. If you're not consistently adding alt tags to your images, if you're not consistently blogging, if you're not consistently, engaging on social media, if you do it for a week and you're like, I haven't gotten any leads, I give up, you're never going to get anywhere, right? It would be like saying, I'm going to become a real estate agent, and you don't sell a house in the first week, so you just give up. Being consistent and outlasting your competition is really the key here. It takes time. We practice what we preach. We've got our blog, The Dojo, that's been running, for years and years. And for the last about 4 years, we've been adding content to it regularly. And it's basically the main source of traffic to our website and one of the main sources of signups for RealtyNinja these days. James, good question. Some of this stuff we do, right? So if you want to like we're not writing the content for you. That stuff is up to you or to work with a third party. But anything in terms of adding the content to your website, if you've got a blog post written in a Word file, you can just email it to our support team and be like, hey guys, can you add this to my blog? And we'll do it. We don't create ads. We don't do any marketing for you. We would be in competition with a lot of other realtors that are our customers, and we don't want to get into the marketing strategy business. So what we can do is www.realtyninja.com/marketplace. In there's a bunch of deals to like marketing services and marketing companies that can help you with your marketing. They give you a discount if you're a Realty Ninja customer, but those are other kind of companies that will do your PPC ads, will do like an SEO optimization of your whole site. But if there's actual legwork that you need done, you want us to add an alt tag to an image, or you want us to create a new page or create a new search and add some content to it, that kind of stuff we can do. You just email us the content, tell us where you want it to go, and we'll put it there. So in terms of like the heavy lifting, we're happy to do it for you as part of your fee, but in terms of the marketing, we don't. So please definitely kind of check into the dojo, check in on our ebook here. Again, this is a great way, testament to the fact that we practice what we preach. We've created this resource to provide value to real estate agents. Our website, we want it to be all about you. We want it to be valuable to you. So when you go to our website, you can download things that are kind of useful. Now, when you download them, we get that email address, right? And so that the people become leads of ours by downloading content. So we are practicing everything that we're preaching, and it's really working. I can tell you for a fact it works. We're not the only company doing it. This is like, standard process out there, and it really, really does work over time. But you do need to be consistent, and, being consistent can be difficult, but it is rewarding. I promise you that. Thank you so much for being here. I've got a few minutes over time, so I really appreciate your time. Hopefully the audio didn't cut out or anything too much after a little point there. I really appreciate your guys' time. If you have any other questions, now would be the time. Otherwise, if I don't hear anything, I'm just going to go ahead and end the event, and you guys will be redirected to a page where you can download the slides and get a few other kind of resources. I don't seem to be seeing any questions, so thank you guys again, and I hope you have an awesome day. And if you have any questions later on, you can just email info@realtyninja.com. My pleasure, Faye. Thank you for being here. Faye and James, you guys are awesome. Cheers.